Unfortunately, I'm allergic to seaweed. I think that's a good thing. I could sell it then.
Yeah. You can't get high on your own supply, as they say.
Yeah. Some drivers went to a pub drinking beer. We didn't realize.
And that's something you're doing now. Are you using the flip dish driver tracking at the moment?
Yeah, flip dish driver tracking. We can see where it's going.
Yeah, if he's in the pub, you know where he is. Yeah,
definitely. So just recently opened last week in Seven Oak. So that will be 27th location.
Wow.
27th location now. For the last 10 years was quite big, amazing journey. Yeah. The reason we're growing so fast now is we have help of technology like you guys, the pause, and I think that's big game changer for any growing brand. Without this, you will not be here today. 27 location.
What piece of advice would you give your younger self? Like, so if you went back to 2015, you're starting off, what is the really important thing you would have needed to know back then?
Lots of things.
Welcome to this Flip Dish Takeaways podcast, a London edition. I'm joined by Chhong Sherpa, founder of IRO Sushi. Chhong, thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to just get a little bit of background on you and how you got into the business that you're in now.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for inviting me as well. My name is Chhong Sherpa, and I was working as a sushi chef in the beginning, and then. So I work around 4 years in a sushi restaurant. Then I like the way how the Japanese food was made. It's a bit more artistic. We have lots of skill involved. So I always wanted to do something in my life. So I thought that was a very cool idea, and to start my own something. So that's how the IRO Sushi idea came. Basically.
And how long ago was this? When did this start?
This was 2015 when I started first business. Okay. So this was in Clapham Junction. So I still have a little space there. So that's nice. My first business.
Very close to your heart, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Great. And how did you get into even being a chef? What was the journey into food for you? Like, what inspired you to even become a chef in the first place?
I mean, I was working I was looking for a job. I came as a student in this country, 2009. So there was that time very hard to find a job, basically. So I managed to find from one of my friends' referral. So managed to find work in IRO Sushi still in Selfridges in Oxford Circus. Still have that, yeah.
Wow.
I still have good fresh memory from there.
So you kind of fell into it and then just found that it was something you enjoyed doing. And did it take you long to gain the skills to be really good at sushi? Or like what was that kind of from you just getting into the food industry to being a good chef? Like what's the glide path there?
The good thing about, the interesting thing about sushi is you need lots of skill to level up your skill. It's not like burger and you just flip the burger and put it start together. It doesn't work like that.
No offense to any burger chefs who are listening to this.
Sushi, you need to go through different phases. So cooking a rice in Japan, you have to do a 6-month training to just cook rice. If you think about cooking rice, I mean, what the hell is that?
No, I'm really bad at cooking rice, so I feel like I might need that training.
To get that refined, because rice need to be cooked at a certain time, and the water, and then the temperature and the timing. And when it's cooked, then you have to leave a certain time to cool down. Then it becomes perfection for the sushi rice.
Wow.
So that's why it's lots of skill involved. So it takes roughly 2 years up to 2 years just to be just about okay chef.
Okay, so you must have got to a point where you obviously you didn't start the job thinking you were going to set up a big restaurant chain and all of that. There must have been a part of that time where you thought, this is something that I really want to devote my life to. Like, was there a moment that kind of triggered that in you, or what was the genesis of the idea for the business?
Not really. I had an opportunity to open the restaurant in a delivery only kitchen. So there was one of the food production space, and they used to close at 4 p.m. and they used to deliver sandwich for the aeroplanes and stuff like that. So in a hotel, I asked him if I can use the evenings because it's so empty, right? So all the foundation was there. So he agreed to give it to me. So that's why I started a business. Basically, I found an opportunity. I thought it's a cool idea I don't have to invest too much money. Then I use his equipment, everything. Then I bought a few chopping boards and knives. I brought 2 of my friends to work together. And then,
Also chefs, or were they doing other things?
yeah.
Okay.
And then that's how we initially started in that kitchen, basically. And then after about a year after, and then I moved to that store at the moment.
Amazing. And then from that moment, how did you go about marketing it? How did you was sushi a big thing in the area? Was it difficult to convince people, to come and eat with you? Like how did that go just to getting that store to be successful?
So because I built some customer for a few years with the delivery from the deliveries, and then moving out to this high street was a little bit easier because I knew I had some foundation from the previous one. But at the time I was marketing, I didn't think much about those part of business. I just wanted to open it and see how it goes. Basically, I wanted to try luck.
And were you just getting footfall from people walking past, and that's the people who are coming in, or were you?
Because a little space just behind the station of Clapham Junction, so it's just people passing every day from the train up and down. So just from there.
Amazing. And did you think about like, how do I re-engage these customers? How do I get people to come back? Like, was there any thought process, or it was just, I just want to make nice food and hopefully people come and can join? Or when did it switch to like, okay, we really need to like try and grow this now?
Yeah. Initially was just keep good service, and mainly was delivery business was quite strong that time.
Yeah.
But later on, I just realized that business is not about just the food and stuff like that. So that's why I started learning the marketing and then the branding stuff. Yeah, it came. I just basically learned on the go, basically.
Okay, so did you have any mentor or anyone you went to for advice, or was this something you literally just picked up yourself as you went along?
No, I don't have any mentor. Even now, I don't have any mentor. So
I think people are coming to you for mentoring now. I think that's different.
I think that's why I think it's important. Now the franchisee who comes with us, because I have made all this mistake and I've learned on the go. So that's why getting the ready-made product basically. So I think that's reason behind why it's successful at the moment in the franchise.
And they're lucky. Obviously, they're benefiting from the fact that you've gone through all those pain points. So how many locations are we at now with? And
we just recently opened last week in Seven Oaks, so that will be 27th location.
Wow,
27 location now.
Incredible.
So last 10 years was quite big, amazing journey. Yeah.
And do you feel connected to all of those locations? Do they feel like your babies that are out there in the world, running around?
Yeah, I mean, initially, until I had 10, 12, I was a bit more connected to it. Now, because it started to grow so big, I had to hire many other staff to run and then an operation manager. Now, I couldn't go every day. I couldn't be touched. So I feel bad for that.
Yeah.
Because it's like your baby, right? You want to be there. You want to see what's happening. You want to see who customer enjoying or not. But for example, 7 Oaks open, I never been there, for example, right? So that's sad part of growing big, I guess.
Yeah. You can't be for every for every birth.
Yeah.
If we're going to use that analogy.
Yeah.
So are all the locations franchised, or is it?
No, I have own store around 7 store.
Okay.
Then I did initially started as a semi-franchise. So how that works is, so I find the franchisee, normally chefs who has a skill. Then the problem with the chef, with the working people is they don't have enough fund to start a business.
Yeah.
So that's why we use from the company. So we become 50-50 partner of the company. So they have enough fund to hold the 50% of it, and they run the franchise. Then we invest. So that's how we have around 10 stores like that.
Okay.
So that's semi-franchise. So that's how we started. Now we have around 10 as a semi-franchise and around 10 as a sole only franchisee.
And did you notice a change maybe from when you were trying to get people to come and do business with you to now people are coming to you looking to do business? Was there a moment where there was a switch and now you realize, wow, everyone wants to be in IRO Sushi? Is that?
Yeah, initially, I just wanted to take more customers as possible. But now, and also we realize there's lots of mistake we make in the between. So not everyone is qualified. But now is the time we are a bit bigger as well, so we can decide now. We can say some of the people no, unfortunately.
And what would be your learnings? Obviously, Flipdish will have some customers, maybe they'll listen to this, or people just who are setting up their own business who might want to franchise out their brand. Are there any kind of big tips that you would give when you're looking for a franchisee? Like what's the decision making process for you?
For me, to be honest, personally, I judge the person. If I feel a good vibe when I meet first time, I think that's the first point I judge. But you have to see, the mainly I know if that is the right person, if they have a skill to do it, and it's easier always if they have a really skilled chef or restaurant manager. They understand the pain behind the kitchen and small things. But if you come from different corporate, for example, if someone works in a bank for 10 years and come to a restaurant, it's not going to work.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And have you seen that happen, or have you had any franchisees that didn't work out? And was there any big learnings from that?
Luckily, there is not much. There's always one or two, but because I think I had that thing from the beginning. So I think in that way, that's why I think my franchise is quite successful at the moment. So we didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
we didn't have to experience that between us.
And you're very much following your gut, right? You're really going on like, I like the vibe ideas, like very
good. Get some time wrong, but most of the time we get it right. Yeah,
you've been in the area long enough, so you're looking for people that have maybe a chef that's already on board to come on board, or they are a chef themselves. Is that advantageous when they want to run and cook, or would you prefer it's separated so that the franchisee is not in the kitchen?
No, I prefer franchise in the kitchen. So
okay, great.
So that's the trick, because like I said earlier, the sushi is a little bit different than other franchise, other product basically. And then our main catch is our product is so good.
Yeah,
that's people customers said. Like now I go to Manchester. I went to Spain last 2 months ago, and there were some people I met, and they tried us in here, London, when they came here. So I said, "Oh, your food is so good. You should open here." So kind of that's the catch. So the reason is because we have a trained chef. Yeah, and they can cook good food. They can produce a good food, and that's the very important part of it.
Yeah, it's delivering.
And it's easier to train them to be a manager and manage than taking someone from the manager to teach in the kitchen is a bit harder. So it's the other way around.
Cooking's a bit more of an art form, right, than maybe managing people. Again, I hope I don't insult any people managers out there, but definitely, it definitely seems like...
I mean, that's my experience,
Yeah, I think if you go into a sushi restaurant and you see the way the food is presented and how important it is, you can tell that this is not just something that somebody's just thrown together. There is a bit of an art, there's a bit of presentation.
Even using a knife, skills, quite lots of things. Like I said earlier, cooking a rice itself is big tricky thing, right? And you have to hold in certain temperature, and then using a knife, cutting a fish is like very. When you slice a fish, you almost have to make exactly the same weight of each time, same like machine.
Wow, but with that human, very precise. And do you eat in your own restaurants? Is it, or are you so fed up with sushi now you can't look at it because it's the business, or do you like to go in there and eat?
I do it, but unfortunately, I'm allergic to seaweed.
No.
Everyone asks me, why do you need sushi? I'm allergic to seaweed. I think that's a good thing. I could sell it then.
You can't get high on your own supply, as they say.
Yeah. But I do it. My favorite is nigiri and sashimi with a little bit crunch and sauce on top. That's delicious.
So that would be your recommendation to somebody who's maybe never gone to IRO Sushi before. That's what you would say you have to have.
I think that's interesting you bring up this. I had lots of friends who never tried sushi, and I think they might have tried before somewhere. But when someone says sushi, is like you have to click raw food, right?
Yeah.
Raw meat, is raw fish. But when I gave them try that product, I say, oh, I never knew this was sushi was cooked as well. So that's why we have in the menu we have lots of cooked variety now. So even pregnant women and never vegetarians, all different kind of options are available.
Amazing. So
they fall in love and they want to come back again.
Amazing. It's becoming more diverse.
Yeah,
and from a technology point of view, obviously you're saying that 2015 is kind of when it got going. How have you seen a change maybe in the way you're using technology like now versus how you were using it then? And has there been a shift?
Big, massive shift in the technology. But I think the reason we're growing so fast now is we have help of technology like you guys, the pause and. I think that's big game changer for any growing brand. If you have one or two stores, it's still okay. You can run without it.
Yeah.
But if you want to grow your brand, then there's no way you can grow it without technology. I remember I used to have that first store. We used to have a Hungry House, Just Eat, and stuff like that. So we used to hire a rider. I think I used to have 10 riders evenings.
Wow. Okay.
and then we have to assign manually, right? So it's driver, because sometimes when it's raining, then some driver don't turn up on time, or sometimes we had experience. One day we had 10 drivers, right? Friday night, very busy. Every chef is running around making food, and this front of house is dispatching food all the time, and they don't have time to who is coming. Now, some drivers went to a pub drinking beer. We didn't realize. So things like that, So it's very funny. So other rider find out he was there watching football in the pub. So you see the I'm saying is you cannot track it. You don't have technology to track it.
Yeah,
and you cannot just pick right number wise. So.
And that's something you're doing now. Are you using the flip disk driver tracking at the moment?
Yeah, flip disk driver tracking. We can see where it's going.
Yeah, if he's in the pub, you know where he is. Yeah,
definitely. So that things like this. Without this, you will not be here today. 27 location.
Absolutely. And you're using your own drivers. Are you also using drivers with the marketplaces? What's your relationship with marketplaces like? I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
So we used to use the Steward for the flip disk deliveries, online deliveries, but now we switched to Uber Direct. So we use Uber now. So Uber is a big company, so they can provide service. Steward was okay in London, but because we are expanding outside London, then they don't have service outside. So we had decided to go with the broader service. So it's not only in London.
Great. And you're on the marketplaces like Just Eat or Deliveroo as well, separately to the drivers as well? And how's that relationship been? Have you always been with the marketplaces, or how have you kind of managed that?
Yeah, we always with the marketplace in the beginning, because mainly was during the COVID time, business was all delivery only concept. So we are big with Deliveroo and Uber Eats. Just is okay. And then we prefer to use our online flip disk deliveries.
So you're trying to convert people then over to the flip disk.
So they have big market, so they are quite strong.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You need to engage with them at least for a certain time, and then migrate customers
whatever possible.
Yeah, which is obviously always tricky. But and how has it kind of been? Have you always found like you've got value for money with the marketplaces? Like, what does that for you? Is it worth it? Is it absolutely? Like, be interested to hear what your thoughts on it are.
Definitely is worth it. I mean, they will take big chunk of it, but they will do the hard part. So you don't have to worry about, like I said earlier, you don't have to worry about riders, you don't have to worry about customer. They will handle most of it. Yeah. All you have to do is order comes, you prepare the food, nicely presented, you pass it to the rider, then your part is almost done. Yeah. If you don't have no orders, then you don't pay anything. So it's good. Whereas if you hire your own rider, sometimes you're sitting whole 10 riders sitting there, no orders, they still have to pay it. Absolutely. So in the financial point of view, that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah. And it does, the tech in the background will run that same with the flip disk driver tracking now as well, that you can stay on top of that, which is great. And what's kind of your plan for, the next maybe year or so? Where do you see, obviously you've just opened Seven Oaks and things like that. What's next for IRO Sushi?
So now we are quite congested in London, so we want to go expand outside it. So it's places like Birmingham, Manchester, Edinburgh, Ireland.
Great. Look forward to it.
We'll also look into expand in Spain. So incredible. That's a very big jump, but we're looking to trial it there.
And how do you make those decisions? Like what's it based on when you're picking those locations? What's the thought process behind that?
So we have, like I said, like you have now 10 years experience, so by the location. And also what I realize when I go around everywhere in the big cities and even Madrid. So when you go to high street and football, you have burgers, McDonald's, KFCs, many chicken shop, but there's no healthy option for a customer to try something different, right? And then you have some of the big brand with a sushi brand like Wasabi's and Nitsuda, but they prepare food in advance and keep in the fridge, refrigerated. They're not good in quality. Or you have some restaurant which is high-end restaurant. You go, maybe you sit down, relax, take your family. I mean, that's once a month, but you don't have daily for the office workers and people traveling. There's no option for sushi, something healthy. Yeah. So that's why I think we want to come in there. Yeah. So it's fresh. You made on demand, and now we're using kiosks. Oh, really? Very big thing for us. So we tried a few stores. Now we're putting this everywhere. Really? So not to bring one or two. I used to try one or two. Now we're putting 3, 4 more. Yeah. So what happens is, one thing customer has make their own decision, right? come into they with the headphone on. They can speak with the phone. They can make a decision. That's from the customer side of it, and they can order whatever they like. From the restaurant side, our operation point of view. So if you have a busy restaurant and you have 10, 5 people customer queuing up, then you have 2 person just checking orders only, right? So you're spending time for nothing.
Yeah, which a machine can do.
Machine can
and
do.
it never calls in sick.
Now, rather than just waiting for the taking orders, we can just do something else, and it's more productive, and it's good for business.
I think it's absolutely great that you provide both options to customers, because you will get, and I've definitely noticed, maybe a generational shift in who wants to use, non-person machines and doesn't have to deal with anything like that, versus those who actually want to have a conversation with somebody and maybe ask
someone available.
Exactly. Which is still there, but I've definitely noticed maybe the younger generations are more inclined to use a kiosk and go in and, like you said, headphones on and all of that. So it's great to hear. It's great to hear you've put a couple in as well, because we've definitely seen in the past where maybe a restaurant doesn't fully commit to the kiosk, and then people end up still going to the counter because there's not enough.
If you put less, and then it doesn't look like I want to use it, right? If you have 3, 4 more, then you have to use it. It's there to use it. So I think that makes trigger the customer decision making.
I think you see in places like McDonald's now that you have to walk by a wall of kiosks to get to where you order in a lot of stores.
Some business almost hide the counter basically behind.
Well, it's the right way to do it. Like you said, it's going to do the job of 2 people who will just be writing down orders the entire time. So you've got a couple of different locations upcoming. So hopefully Ireland. Any ideas of where in Ireland yet, or Dublin? Hopefully.
Not yet. I have to go there.
Okay, please do. Come on over. I was going to ask your thoughts on sushi in general. Is it something that you see that people see as a healthy option, or is it something you think that is kind of viewed as it's takeaway, it's fast food, it's in that kind of Asian takeaway bracket where you better not have that every day, or it'll be a once a month thing? Do you feel like there's maybe some negativity around it that you kind of have to change people's minds?
I think initially sushi people view as quite premium product. So expensive, and it's raw food, things like that. But now it's changed. So probably there was no one providing it. Probably I think that takes a little time to educate. Now we're trying to educate people. This is cooked, not only raw, and this is easy to grab and go. So you can cater the family, you can cater the office worker, and good thing about sushi, it can be grab and go. You can take on the go, even on the go, you can eat it on the train, right? Even plane, airplane. So things are this quite flexible in that way. So I think this is a big market for sushi next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, and it's been growing as well. I think I've even just seen within Ireland, going from maybe first time I ever had Japanese food might have been 2010. There was a restaurant there since I think 1999, but it was the first time it kind of came into my line of vision. And since then, it's just exponentially grown from there as people become more confident with it, and obviously depending on the community and things like that, people are more open to trying new styles of food. So have you seen that even since 2015, since you opened, that it's become more commonplace, more people understand what it is?
Now even 2 years children, they would like to eat sushi. I was surprised when I go to a restaurant last time. It was little kid wanted sushi, and they were eating raw salmon, right? Normally you say, oh, it's not big, but they can eat. They like avocados. From 2 years, think about now we have lots of customers, our kids, school kids, come and grab sushi. So they want sushi as a meal. They can be as a meal, family meal together, and so it's quite good. It's healthy, and I think it's growing.
Great. It's great to see kids branching out as well from chicken nuggets and chips. Maybe is the
why to eat always chicken and chips, right? It's good for health. I think it's to educate that way from the parents' point of view. Instead of eating chicken and burger every day, so eat sushi instead.
Okay, so we have a couple of quick fire questions I'm going to ask you, and we ask every guest this. So, what would your death row meal be? Last meal ever? What do you have?
Yes,
doesn't have to be from your restaurant. Could be anything.
Because I'm from Nepal.
Okay, cool.
We like dumplings. We call momo.
Momo,
very good.
Okay,
steam is hot, it's spicy, and it keeps you warm.
What's in the dumpling? What in meat?
You have different protein. You have a filling of the dough, and they have protein. Can be vegetarian, chicken, pork, anything. But it's normally I like chicken.
Wow. Okay, so that would be just a whole plate of dumplings.
It comes in big portion, 10 pieces normally.
Amazing. Okay, and then here in London, favorite restaurant that isn't obviously your own?
So I like shad, the hutong there.
Okay.
I think that's the reason also the dumpling was quite good. The filling was very thin. It was very, very juicy and it's tasty. I like that.
Okay, so that's your that's your go-to.
Yeah.
Any trends that you see in the industry at the moment within the food industry? Any new cuisine types you can see growing that outside of the sushi world? Anything you've kind of spotted and said, oh, that might be big in the next couple of years?
I think recently bubble tea was quite popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Bubble tea is one. I think sushi can be next big thing. And there's a big market for the sushi. I think sushi is a good thing.
Okay, great. And maybe one of my last questions will be, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? Like, so if you went back to 2015, you're starting off, what is the really important thing you would have needed to know back then?
Lots of things, I would say. But I would say, I would say it's probably stressed. Taking a stress for the small things. Okay. I think in the beginning you were scared and stressed with everything basically. Even sometimes chef is not coming on time, chef is leaving the job, and I used to be stressed a lot. Now it's a bit like, I'll find a solution. I think finding a solution that'll help me. I think
rather than panicking about the problem.
It was I mean, I used to be so a lot and without sleep all night. Tomorrow morning nothing happened. So I said, why should I take stress?
Yeah, everything is still here. The world is still spinning.
So, I think taking a stress with it. I think I would say younger me or even someone who's running business. There's every day every problem coming, but I think stay calm. Keep going.
Stay calm, keep going. Love it. We get a t-shirt with that on it. That sounds great. And one of my last questions would be, who would be someone you've met within the industry, like a great business person that you think would be a great guest for us to have on the podcast?
I would say in food business, Gordon Ramsay. A good one.
Okay. Have you met him?
Shouting. No, not him, yeah.
You just think he'd be a good person?
I watch his TV series.
Okay, yeah.
And I see how he wants to make changes and stuff like that.
I feel like I'd spend a lot of time muting his curse words on this this podcast.
Definitely.
Amazing. And then where can people, if they want to go and order IRO Sushi, where can they find you? Website, app?
Yeah, we are available online, irosushi.com. We have social media. We are on social media. It's IRO Sushi Official. Email is info@irosushi.com. If you want to reach someone, reach there. I think online, flip this, you can download the app online. So
love to hear it.
If you go to anywhere part of London, you will see everywhere IRO Sushi probably, most part of it. And then hopefully you will see everywhere across UK soon.
Brilliant. Can't wait for it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really, really appreciate it and have a great rest of your day.
No worries. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.